last week we talked about the little introduction. I told us that operation research is an art and science. Now, for before I go further, I want to apologize. I got some calls last week that I was too fast, but I've decided to go on my pace, the pace we're going to go, so that everyone can hear me very well. Now, I said last week that operation research is an art and science. It had its early root in World War II and is flourishing in businesses today. That is what is going on in operation research. So it has its root there. Then we talked about the terminologies of operation research. Mr. Yomi, your voice is hello, Mr. Yomi. Thank you. Now we talked about the terminologies of operation research, and I made us understood that in the US they give is operational research. Sorry, is operation research. The British or the European calls it operational research. It also has a name and is called MS, management science in US. They call it management science, and also it is also known as industrial engineering and decision support system or decision science. So that's what we talked about the history, then World War II. It has been in existence since the 1930s and former discipline occupation research by effort. The military started using it to do planning in World War II, and which today is now in all the businesses. Every business is using operation research to get a positive result. Now, we also looked at the objectives of operational research or operational research, and we talked about the decision making and improve its quality. It identifies optimum solution. It helps you get optimal solution, integrating the systems. It improves the objectivity of analysis. It minimizes the cost and maximize profit. Like I told you, no business wants to run on on high cost. Every business wants to reduce the cost, minimize cost, and make more profit. Now, the next one, it improves productivity. It improves productivity, and lastly, is success in competition and market leadership. In market leadership, operation research is very vital, and we'll try to look at some application areas of operational research. And I talked about the dividends policy, investment portfolio management, auditing balancing sheet, and etc. Then I said it claims and complaints procedures and public accounting. Then I also talked about the break-even analysis. It also talks about the break-even analysis, Then the marketing is there, the marketing, selection of product mix, marketing and export planning, sales effort, etc. Then production management. I talked about the facility location, logistics arrangement, layout design, engineering design, etc. Then we talked about the methods. Then we looked at them. I talked about the simulation method, the optimization method, the data analysis method, which we'll be looking at trying to solve some facts using using these methods to solve some solutions or some problems as it goes up. Then we looked at deterministics and stochastic models, and these are and I were made to understand, or rather, I told us that stochastic deterministic model assumes all data are known with certainty, that you already know the data, while stochastic models is probabilistic model, and it talks about representing uncertain data via random variables and stochastic processes, which is deterministics involve optimization and stochastics involve characterizing, estimating systems performances. So these are what we looked at on operation research, and we try to get some operation research models. I talk about deterministics. Under deterministic, we have the linear programming, the network optimization, the integer programming, the non-linear programming. And under stochastic models, we have the discrete time Markov chains, we have continuous time, we have queuing theory, then we have decision analysis. We have decision analysis. So we talk about the processes and talk about the quasi experimental, the true experiment, the result utilization. So that is for that. And then we did our assignment. But today we're going to talk about the decision analysis. Decision analysis. Now is the PD I cannot unmute my mic. I would have loved some of us to tell me what decision is or what would you mean by decision analysis or decision making. Now I want to in as a bit of introduction, I want us to know, I want to let us know that okay, we all make decisions on daily basis. We all make decisions on daily basis. Everybody makes decisions on daily basis. Now, some of us now before entering this class, you've made decisions, hundreds of decisions. Now, right from when you woke up to this very time, we've made decisions. Some of us are the decisions when we woke up. When am I going to take this money? Especially those of us that does not have many tables or many timetables in our houses. What am I going to take? Should I take conflicts? Should I take coffee or should I take Bonvita or should I take Milo? Now, this is just decision. It's just every one of us makes decisions. So it's the decision that suits you more that you want to go for. If peradventure there are sometimes you look at it, you do not have some of these things in there, you do not have some of them, and possibly you are the type that you don't like you don't like a particular food, and along the line when you woke up this morning that was the only food at home and you just check what am I going to, oh, I feel like taking the noodles this morning, and possibly you love indomie and you don't like golden penny or chicky chicky or nunu, but eventually when you woke up, what was on your cupboard in the kitchen was just golden penny or nunu, and you while you were on your bed you just like, oh, let me go take indomie noodles, that's my favorite, yes, let me go take indomie noodles. On getting there you find out, oh shit, this thing is over. Now you now have the choice of making either taking golden penny or mimi noodles or chicky noodles, so you have to take decision which one will you take next. Why? Because your favorite is not there. You now have a choice, you now have the opportunity of making decision which one to give, which one to take, or which one to give to your family, or which one to give to your family. Now, when we talk about decision, decision is one when there are different things you can do and you can pick from. You can make lots of these decisions every day. Now, you just had what I just said. You just have to like you have different options, different things, different food to eat, and you just like, oh, I have them. No, since Indomie noodles is not available, which one? Mimi is there, Chiki is there, Golden Penny is there, Dangote is there. So what do I go for? So if I don't want to go for this, okay, there is rice, there's macaroni, there's spaghetti. Now, which one? You now have the choice to make. That is what decision is. That is, you have the choices of making decisions. Some of us, how do the decision on, oh, what to eat with what I just said. Now, another is the decision of what to wear. Some of us, like the ladies, you like pink dresses very well, and you have an outing or a dinner later in the evening, and all of a sudden by the dinner starts by 5:30, and by 5 it's okay, let me put on my dinner wear, the pink dinner wear I just bought from the UK or from the US or from AliExpress or Jumia or whatever. Then when you get there, you got there to your wardrobe, you find out, oh shit, my god, this clothes is dirty, I can't put it on. And you have lots of dinner wears, so you have to make decision which one will you want to go for, since the one that already in your mind is not worth it anymore. So you make decision, and one of the most difficult decision is choosing a major area in our career. In choosing a major area, like for some of us that are engineers or the field you study, you have various areas in engineering, especially those in the in short, in all field in engineering, you have like in mechanical, you have production, you have building services, automobile, industrial engineering, so name it. And this time you are not time faced with, okay, where should I go? Which should I choose? So some people have difficulty. This is where most people have difficulty, and in taking decision on their career, on their career. Now you also make decisions in choosing your friends. Oh, is this person worth being my friend, or is this person not worth being my friend? So these are the decisions you make, the kind of job you do, how right, and your decision might be right, your decision might be wrong. So how right are your decisions? How you make your decisions? How right do you make your decisions? So now let's take for example, Samuel, one of our best friend here. Samuel wants a new cell phone. Now, let everybody listening, everybody likes cell phone in this part of the country, or in this part of the continent. Now, Samsung Galaxy is there, and Samuel wants to go for Samsung Galaxy, and Samsung Galaxy is sold for 95,000 naira, and Samuel only had 85,000 naira, but he is interested in Samsung Galaxy. Now, this is where Samuel had to make a choice. Now, and there are other products in the market. Techno is the market that is as cheaper than Samsung Galaxy. So, which one will this man go for? Since his money is not there, he's not enough to go for Samsung Galaxy. So now, first thing he has to do, Samuel will have to like check his brain. But instead of him worrying himself, he just have to like take a big breath and let the air out of his mouth or nursery, take relax and try to like okay, say something positive about Samuel. Had to say something positive about himself, what he wants to do, how he wants to deal with, how he thinks he can raise that money, since he has 85,000 and the amount is 95,000. So where is he going to get 10,000 to add to the money he has so that he can just get the Samsung Galaxy? So he kept on thinking, saying positive things against himself about it, that he wants to get it. And peradventure, Samuel must have boasted in front of his friend, "My new phone is going to be wow. I'm going to get Samsung Galaxy X, whatever, that is going to beat everybody's phone." And now he's not faced with making decisions. So now the problem there now is, how is he going to get it? Now he tries to identify, how am I going to raise 10,000 naira to make this thing. So all he just had to do is had to like put what are the choices. Is this thing interested in? Either he dropped a Samsung Galaxy and go for Techno, or he has to sit back and say, okay, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in Techno. I'll have to wait until I got my money complete and get the Samsung Galaxy. Yes, he can decide to make that choice. So what are your choices? Now, save money until he gets enough money, borrow money from parents or friends, buy cheaper phones. So these are the options left for him. Now let's try to examine the options one after the other. Let's try to examine the consequences, the negative and positive consequences when it comes to his decisions. Now, save money until he gets the phone, enough money to get the phone. Now, the positive part of it, let's quickly analyze it. Sorry, I know this is not on the slide. I'm making an example. We'll fall back to the slide soon. And let's look at it. Samuel will feel proud about his accomplishment. He will, when he gets the phone really that he really needed, he will be very proud. He will feel proud of himself. Yes, I was able to get the phone right now. But another thing is, he has to wait. He has to wait until he gets the complete money to get the phone. So that is the negative part. The positive part, oh, he will be proud. Yes, I promised, I boasted that I'm going to get Samsung Galaxy and I got it. And now he's faced with, he doesn't have the money. So the negative part, that since he's still interested, he has to wait for until his money is complete. Now let's look at the other option, option two. Now borrow money from parents or friends. Now what is the positive side is, oh, Samuel will get the phone anyways. He will get the phone when he borrows money from friends, from parents or friends. But let's look at the negative part of it. He won't feel independent. Friends or parents might say no to her. Do you understand that? He might not feel, sorry, might say no to him. He might not feel independent. Why? Because he's borrowing from them. But if it is money, he feels all the way. Now let's look at option number three. The option number three here is buy a cheap phone. Buy a cheap phone. Now let's examine it in looking at it the positive and negative way. If he gets a cheap phone, yes, he can get a cheap phone immediately. But another thing is, the negative aspect of it, that Samuel won't get the phone that he really wanted, the phone that he is interested in, that he loves, he won't be able to get it. That is if he decides to go for techno, a cheaper phone, a cheaper phone. Now, the option number 6, what is important to you? That's the question I'm asking. Now, what is important? Now, the thing that is important to Samuel now is the phone. So, how is he going to get it? Getting the phone he really wants? What is important to Samuel? Is he getting the phone that he really wants, or getting the phone right away, or not borrowing money? Now, after choosing what is important, he tries to cross out solutions. He tries to cross out other solutions. So he has to like make this place. He's now making decision. The one he knows he wants to go for, he just go for it and take the rest out of his life that he doesn't need them. Now, to make this decision. So when he decide to wait in order to get the phone, the money to get the phone, so fine, he has made a decision. So he is good to go and he will be proud of his phone. So when we talk about decision making, these are part of the things I want us to know about decision making. These are part of the things I want you to understand when it comes to making decisions. Sometimes it might be very difficult to make some decisions, but sometimes when you weigh the option, then you can go. Now let me look at slide 19, a word from Davy Crockett. He said, be sure you are right, then go ahead. If you are sure you are right, then you are free to move ahead with your decision. So if you feel the decision to go for it is right, now you are free to go for decision. If you feel your decision to borrow is right, you are free to go for it. Now, what is decision making? Decision making is a process of examining your possibility options, comparing them and choosing a course of action. Decision making is the process of examining your possibility options, comparing them, and choosing a course of action. That is decision making. Now let's me go through some definition by two authors, which I love their definition somehow. Now, according to Samuel Seto, in 2003, he defined decision as a choice made between two or more available alternatives. Now, decision making, and he said decision making is the process of choosing the best alternative to reaching objectives. So that is his own. Now, another one, Mamotan define decision making as a process of choosing between alternatives to achieve a goal. It is the process by which an individual chooses one alternative from several to achieve a desired objectives to achieve a desired objectives. Now let's look at the terminologies for decision making. And Mr. Yomi, if you can hear me, I'm on slide 21. Let's look at the terminologies for making for decision making. What are the terminologies? Number one of it is critical thinking. Critical thinking. Number one of it is critical thinking. Two, decision. Now, when I talk about the critical thinking, that the ability to act philosophically and exercise careful judgment when evaluating a situation. Now, critical thinking is you ask philosophical questions and exercise careful judgment when evaluating a situation. I always tell people yeah, that when making a judgment, don't relax yourself. Think. No, don't be in a rush to make a judgment, or when you are not composed. No, try to relax yourself. Weigh the options. Number two, decision, a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. And number three, problem solving. Problem solving is a process whereby a dilemma is identified and corrected. Then creativity. The creativity is intellectual inventiveness or intellectual inventions, bringing intellectual contributions to something. Then satisfying is a decision-making strategy where the individual chooses less than ideal alternatives that meet minimum standards of acceptance. That meets minimum standards of acceptance. So that is what decision making is. The making effective decision, the factors involved in making effective decisions. Factors involved: number one, perception, number two, priority, which one is more important to go for. Number three, acceptability, so is he accepted? Number four, the risk what risk is involved. Now number four is the risk, and number five, resources. What are the resources available for the decision I want to make? Then number six, yeah, the goals. Will my decision meet the goals of the organization? Will it meet my own objective, my own aims, my own goals? Then number seven, values. Number eight, demands. And number nine, ties. And 10, judgment. Now let's quickly look at the 6 C's of decision making. The 6 C's of decision making. Number one is construct. Now construct a clear picture of precisely what must be decided. Have a clear picture of what must be decided, precisely what you must decide on. Then the number two is compile. Compile a list of requirements that must be met. What are the list of requirements that must be met for these things to work out? Now, like the example I made with Sammy has to meet the requirement of having extra 10,000 naira to add to his money in order for him to get the Samsung Galaxy. Then number three, collect informations on alternatives that meet the requirement. Now collect information on alternatives that meet the requirement of what you intend to do. Then number four is compare. Compare alternatives that meet the requirement. You have several alternatives, compare them. Like when I started, you have that you have Chiki Chiki, Mimi Noodles, and what's it called, Golden Penny, Dangote, and now you have to compare which one you have to go for, which one you want to have to decide on, or you want to be a distributor of this product. Then you have to decide and compare. Oh, if this is not, which one does the people here values? Which one will go well for me? Which one will enable you meet your goal? Enable you shine out as the distributor in that area. Then number five, consider. That is the what might go wrong. Consider what might go wrong. Factors with each alternative. Consider what might go wrong when you are picking each alternative. What will happen to this alternative? You try to consider them. Then lastly, commit to the decision and follow through with it. Commit to your decision and follow through with it. Commit to your decision and follow through with it. Now let's quickly look at types of decisions. Types of decisions: I have one, basic decisions or strategic decisions; two, administrative decisions; three, organizational or personal decisions; four, individual and group decisions; five, routine decisions; six, adaptive decisions. So these are the types of decision. Then we have seven, basic decision or strategic decision. Now we have um, uh, uh, routine decision, which I've mentioned before. Now when we look at the basic decision or strategic decision, it's all basic decision is a decision involving large range of commitment and large investment. Basic decision or strategic decisions are involves large range of commitment and investment. Now, it's slightly or small mistake in this decision would seriously injure the entire organization. Any little mistake will injure the organization. The administrative decision. Now, in the administrative decision, Harvard Simon grouped them or classify administrative decision into two. He said, number one, he said program decision. Now, when program decision involves organizations developing scientific processes for handling the decision. So, organization having a developed scientific processes for handling decision. Now, example, standing operating procedures and policies. standing operating procedures and policy. Policy, they already have that, oh, this is how we want to operate, this is how we want to go. Number two is the non-program decision. They relate to the general problem solving process. They involve judgment, intuitions, and creativity. This is non-program decision. Then for organizational or personal decision, now it talks about, it reflects company's policy. They can be delegated or transferred to others. You can delegate in organizational or personal decision. You can delegate. Someone can do the task for you. Tell the person, okay, take this and do this. You can delegate. But one thing I find out that in some people, in some organizations, some people want to do everything themselves rather than delegating, and the more they are piling up jobs for themselves, the more they are unable to do it. Now, why not delegate? Tell somebody what to do, and the person try to assist, and you supervise. It helps you relieve yourself. It helps you relieve stress. Now, personal decisions refers to those made by a manager or an individual, and can be delegated. Now, policy of decisions. The policy of decision are taken by top management. Now, the policy of decision are taken by top management. Now, let's say, for example, the declaration of bonus in a company in a policy matter, which is to be decided by top management, while calculation and distribution of bonuses is an operating decision which is taken at as the lower level. So policy decisions are taken by top management. Individual or group decisions, individual or group decisions. Now, the is known, this is it's a group decision. It refers to decisions which are taken by a group of organizational members, board of directors, committee of experts, etc., etc. Now we have the routine decision. The routine decision is a type made when problems are relatively well defined and common, when where established rules, policies, and procedures can be used to solve them. Now, adaptive decision. This is a type of decision made when problems and alternative solutions are somewhat unusual and only partially understood. So, so these are what decision making is all about. Now let's quickly go through the characteristics of decision making. From various courses of action, it is a process of choosing a particular course of action. Two, I said number one, it is a process of choosing a particular course of action. Number two, it is a human process which involves the application intellectual abilities. It is a human process which involves application intellectual human abilities. Number three, it is a rational process which is by preceded by deliberation and reasoning. It may also be called as an end process. It is a rational process which is preceded by deliberation and reasoning. It may also be called an end process, or it may also be known as an end process. Number three, it is also related to situations in which a manager may take one decision in a particular set of circumstances and another in a different set of circumstances. I said number three, it is always related to a situation in which a manager may take one decision in a particular set of circumstances and another in different set of circumstances. Then lastly, it involves certain specific purpose in which these may just be decisions not decided. So these are, now what are the principles of decision making? Principles of decision making. Number one, principles of autonomy. Two, principles of um, beneficency. Three, principles of paternalism. Four, principles of utility. Five, principles of justice. I say one, autonomy. Two, beneficency. Three, paternalism. Four, utility, 5 justice. So if you check the screen, you see the decision making model. Now the decision making process. What are the decision making process? One, recognizing and defining the situation. Recognizing and defining the situation. Two, identifying the alternatives. Identifying the alternatives. Three, evaluating the alternatives. And you identify and you evaluate them. Three is evaluating. And four, applying the model. Applying the model. Five, selecting the best alternatives. Selecting the best alternatives. Six, conduct a sensitivity of the solution. Conduct a sensitivity of the solution. 7. Implementing the choosing alternatives. Implementing the choosing alternatives. And lastly, following up and evaluating the result. Following up and evaluating the result. Now, decision making environment. Now, before our time goes on, decision making environment. In decision making environment, we have one decision making. That is, we have one uncertainty. That's decision making under sanctity. We have sanctity, we have uncertainty, and we have risk. So, the decision making environment, sanctity, uncertainty, and risk. Now, because of our time, I may not be able to explain them much, but there are decisions. So I want to give it to us as an assignment. Write on decision making environment. Decision making environment. Then try to establish some examples, some examples on decision making under uncertainty. And two, decision making under certainty. And three, decision making under risk. Now don't forget to send it to safetybliss@yahoo.com. I'll be glad. Thank you for those that turned in their assignments last week, and yes, you guys tried. I want to commend you. Now, before we call wrap it a day today, now when we talk about on decision making sanctity, for example, you have two machines, and you need to like which one will do the job for me cheaper and fast and be okay, I'll make more profit. So when you find that, you try to do the calculations, and eventually you have to choose, okay, let me look. For example, you have let me use the word, you have CNC lathe machine, and you have manual lathe machine, and you have to like find out, oh, which job will produce both for me faster and at cheaper. So when you weigh the option, you try to like look at the time this one will use to produce and the time this one will use to produce, and the cost that this one will cost take you, and the cost, and eventually you arrive that, oh, it will be cheaper for me to produce 1,000 boats using CNC machine than using the manual lathe or milling machine. So that is where you take sanctity. Then you already know, for sanctity you already have options, you already know what to do, you already have options on what to do. But for uncertainty, you do not have any option on what to do. For uncertainty, you do not have any option on what to do. So you just like everything it's just like you are in a, they put you in a very big building and just tell you, okay, do anything, and you just don't have any option on what to do. You are not to, so that is uncertainty. You just have to determine what you should do to make it okay, so that everything will be okay about it. Please don't forget the assignment. Write details. Write about decision making, decision making on sanctity, and decision making under uncertainty condition, and also three, decision making under risk. Please, there are solutions, there are problems. They try to solve some examples, and let me see the examples you've solved. Try to solve some examples, and let's see the examples you solve. Now, in this course, I know most of us are scared of calculation. Actually, there are calculations when it comes to operational research. So gradually, we'll be going into them, pending when the time permits us to complete them. But definitely, we'll have to look at linear programming and the transport management or transportation models and different types of models. So if time permits, we'll have to. And if we, for the fact that I have so many people from different fields that are not in the that have not studied calculations and are on this field, I think we'll have to limit ourselves to some areas so that the calculations will not be too much. I promise you, you will enjoy it. I will not give you bulk of calculations. we'll have to like follow up and make you understand the process. So I want to say thank you for listening to me again. Please, the assignment I just gave is just a brief of the assignment. Please just try and do it. It's not much this time, and submit not later than Tuesday 23:59 p.m. usual time. That is my usual time. So I'm always available at that time to look into every assignment sent to me. I want to say once again, thank you all for turning in your assignment. Thank you for cooperating with us. Thank you for being with JPTS. And I want to say before I end this class today, with a few time now, decision making. Some of you, before you came into JPTS, let me use that as an example. Before I turn off this system, you made decisions. Some of us have looked everywhere, and some of us have scanned through the website of JPTS. Some of us are, is it true? And many are still in the value of decision. They are unable to make decisions. Now, so many of us has people around us that jam have frustrated, post UTME have frustrated. They don't know what to do. Why not bring them into this? Help them to make the decision, the right decision, and bring them into the JPTS program, which will be cheaper for them. And at the end, they go for NYSC. So it is proper. Though there are people at the value of decision, they are confused, they don't know what to do. You are already in this program. Why not lift somebody up? It is good when you lift somebody up, that when the person goes up tomorrow, the person will remember you wherever you are. That if not for this person that introduced me to this program, I don't think I would have been in this place. So today I want to give every one of us that opportunity, that assignment to like go around, look at people being frustrated by jam. The last jam frustrated people, posteriorly is dumping people, and they are every day crying, spending huge amount of money to write them, go for lectures. Bring them into JPTS, introduce them to JPTS, and tell them, I am part of it. You come and be part of it. Now they will be glad that you actually brought them in. So don't be the selfish type. Advertise JPTS in your neighborhood, in your community, in your state. Let them know what is going on. So that we and me will
Engineer
be
Man,
able to take out illiteracy
Engineer Man,
from Nigeria. Please do that, and God bless you. I
Engineer
end my
Man.
class today. Have a lovely day. See you next week.